Okay, now let's have a look at question number 4. A regular hexagon and a regular octagon share a common side as shown below. So let's look at the figure below. They're asking us, what is the value in degrees of x? Well, we need to find the value of x. And that's this angle outside of these two polygons. This polygon here has been classified as a hexagon. It has 6 sides, and regular is telling us that these 6 sides are congruent, and that the interior angles of this regular hexagon are congruent. So I'm using the same markings to indicate that. Now let's go to the regular octagon. If a figure is regular, that means all sides and all angles are congruent. So because they share a common side, and I have already indicated here that with one hash mark that this side is congruent to these, I'm going to use the same hash mark to indicate that the sides of this octagon, all the sides of the octagon are congruent. But I need to use different markings to indicate that the angles of this octagon are congruent, because we don't want to assume that the angles here are congruent to the angles here. Now, our next step will be to find the measure of one angle in each one of these polygons. So we need to find the interior angle of a hexagon and one interior angle of an octagon. So let's refer to our reference sheet. I need to find a formula that's going to aid me in finding the measure of an interior angle of a regular polygon. Keyword, regular. If you look at the bottom of your reference sheet, it says the measure of an interior angle of a regular polygon is equal to 180 degrees times n minus 2 divided by n. Well, now I have to find out what n represents. It says n here on the reference sheet. N represents the number of sides. So first I need to find the number of sides of my hexagon, which is 6, and substitute it into this formula. So let's do that. 180 times the quantity of 6 minus 2 divided by 6. Next step will be to put this in simplest form. So order of operations, let's do parentheses first. So that's 180 times 4 divided by 6. Now I need to use my calculator to ensure that I get the correct answer. So I make sure it's clear. I say 180 degrees times 4, that's 720 degrees. Now that would be the sum of the interior angles of the polygon, but I only want an interior angle, one angle. So I need to make sure I divide that by 6. So let's divide it by 6. And we get 120 degrees. So I'm going to place that inside my regular hexagon, right here. Each angle in this regular hexagon is equal to 120 degrees. Now we need to do the same thing for my octagon. I will need to find the measure of an interior angle. So I use the same formula. 180 times the quantity of n minus 2 divided by n, where n represents the number of sides. And in an octagon, we have 8 sides. So that's 180, 8 minus 2 divided by 8. Using my rules for order of operation, I do parentheses first. 180 times the quantity of 8 minus 2 is 6. divided by 8. So now let's take out our calculators again. And we're going to say 180 times 6. Enter. That's 1,080. That would be the sum of all of the angles of this octagon. But we only need one in order to find the value of x, to assist us in finding the value of x. So we divide that by the number of sides, and that being 8. And we get 135 degrees. So therefore, each angle of this octagon is equal to 135 degrees. Notice I'm marking my figure. It's very important to mark your figure so you can have the information on display for you. It makes retaining the information much easier. Now that I have found the two angles that are adjacent to the angle that I want to solve for or find, I have to find a relationship between all three angles. If you notice, this angle, an angle x, and the angle of our octagon, form a circle. A circle is degree measure is equal to, the circle is equal to 360 degrees. So therefore, I would need to now add 120 plus 135 and subtract that from 360. And that will give me the value of x. So let me get my calculator out. We're going to work on that. Clear? We're going to say 360 minus parentheses 120 plus 135, close the parentheses, equal, and that is 105 degrees. So we're going to place 105 degrees there. Now, going back to the question, they asked us, what is the value in degrees of x? Well, the value in degrees of x will be 105 degrees.